Well, hello everyone and welcome to The Wave. My name is Erica Porzio, Executive Director with the Revere Chamber, and I have a very special co-anchor with me today.
Hi, my name is Nicole Da Silva and I am the Chamber intern, and I'm very happy to be here today.
Nicole is here from Revere High School and has been an intern for the Chamber of Commerce for this past year, doing a wonderful job. And we will dive in today to a great spotlight. We're going to be interviewing a new member business, REQ Consulting. And that is owned and operated by Greg Ehlers and Alex Pomponio. And what's more, you'll listen from Greg and Alex talk about some amazing benefits that business owners can take advantage of through their consulting company. But what's more, Alex is also a new board member with the Revere Chamber. So tune in, guys, because we're going to have a great show.
And we are back, and we are interviewing Alex Pomponio and Greg Ehlers from REQ Consulting.
Excellent. Thank you very much. It's nice to be here today. How are you doing, Nicole?
I'm doing great. It's wonderful to meet you guys also for the first time.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having us on the show today. We're excited to spend some time here. As you know, Alex is a recent board member to the Revere Chamber, and one of our endeavors is a outreach to all businesses for a new application that provides free marketing to all businesses in these challenging times that we're in right now. All businesses, 1 in 5 businesses fail in the first year, 4 in 10 fail within 10 years, and 2 of the biggest criteria for failure, Nicole, are based upon marketing or lack of capital. Marketing is an expense that people don't really understand how it comes back, and so Alex and I and REQ, we have partnered with a new company called PassPass. It's a national app that provides free marketing to all businesses. Think of it as Costco without a roof. Amazing. So it doesn't matter where you are in America, you can use PassPass and use it with any businesses that are a part of it, which is a great way for businesses to get notoriety and market without having to spend any money. So we're really excited about bringing that to the businesses here in Revere. Erica was kind enough to highlight us at the Revere Chamber event that was held last Thursday. We met some great people, and we're really excited to help them in the coming weeks and months to be able to get them on the app and help them to see some new customers. The area's growing quite considerably, and there's no better way for the businesses here to be spotlighted.
Absolutely.
So we're great to be here. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you guys. So I want to dive in and ask you guys a little bit about yourselves and how you became business partners, and then maybe shed some light for the audience on a little bit about your collaboration, REQ Consulting, and go from there.
Sure. Well, oddly enough, the way we met was accidental. Honestly, It was accidental. We both began as franchisees in a national hospitality recruiting firm, which we still work with. We do lots of recruiting, and we do it nationally, and we're actually even in Canada as well. That is how we met. We actually met because I accidentally email blasted the entire company one time.
Nice, I love it.
And Greg responded.
Whenever works.
Greg was the only person who replied back, actually, and we had set up an initial phone call, and we just clicked, and then turned into a friendship. Turned out that we have similar beliefs in building a business that is not just about immediate ROI, but something that's going to last. We're here for the long run. Yeah. So we really both think the same about long-term decision making for our business. That's something we're both really passionate about, as well as transparency within the culture of our company. And so one day, we'd been working together so much, I think it was you who said to me, like, so are we doing this? Are we merging our companies? I was like, I think it's about time. So yeah, we just kind of jumped in.
Very organic.
And
that's,
and it has been. It's been a lot of fun, and we both complement each other in certain ways. We, there's things that I'm good at, and there's things that Greg's really good at, and we really make sure to be honest with each other and pay attention to that. And we've just been building the company out from there.
Yeah, I love it. So and guys, correct me if I'm wrong. So as far as titles, I know you guys partner up, but you're the managing partner?
It's one of my titles.
Okay, very well.
Of many, of course. Honestly.
Yeah. And Greg, is it fair to say you are the CEO, sir?
Yeah, that's correct.
Excellent.
Absolutely. I think it's, as Alex mentioned about how we came together, which was fairly serendipitous in many different ways. The dynamics of today's world are changing so quickly, Erica. We have, before we sat down, the television producer mentioned AI. Everybody is about that. But the reality is, in real business and in humanity, we're sitting here having a conversation, and there's nobody that's saying what I'm going to say. It's coming from my heart, from my head, as we have a conversation. And in business, that is not going to change. You might be able to find ways to ameliorate some of your expenses by using AI. Write me a new menu, I want to change this, and it pops out. But the reality is, Nicole still wants to go in and have a chef make her dinner, right? She's not going to have a robot do it. It kind of takes away a little bit of the ambiance, right?
So AI can only go so far.
Right.
And the point of this, Erica, is REQ Consulting is, you can't be in one single lane when you have people that believe AI can do everything for them. So if as we grow and we get partnerships and we work with businesses, not only do they understand our business practices and our integrity, but it becomes a partnership and a trust.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's where, if somebody comes and says, I'm having a problem with this, can you help me? I'm just as happy to say no if I don't and try and find them the right answer, versus say sure and then go over to Nicole's computer and say, hey, AI, how do I do this? Right? Because that's not what I know. It's my experience, or it's the people that I can help bring to that table. And so when you think about, as Alex had mentioned, the transparency and the culture, that's what it really comes down to. And I think as we continue to move forward in generations like Nicole's, you really haven't ever lived without a phone.
Yeah, that is very true.
I can sit here and tell you I can remember before the fax machine, right? So the point being, we've had this transition, but the reality is all of those benefits that have come with it, the detriment has been the lack of what we're doing. And there's a need and a want for humanity to find that again. And so we're truly believe that that is a very wide swim lane, as we like to say, because there's not a lot of people there. Somebody just wants to send you an email and say, I can do all this for you, and nobody has to be there. It's like, well, somebody does, or nobody's going to show up.
Yeah.
So that is that's probably the best way to characterize what we see as a true thematic that's going to be durable long beyond what we do. People need to have community.
You need people. People need people.
I want to shake your hand. I want to give you a hug. I want to laugh. I want to have these emotions with people, and you can't do that with a computer.
That's very true.
Yeah, we just to tag along.
No. Dovetail?
No, yes. No, but we are really big on using emotional intelligence, or EQ is the abbreviated version. Just because it seems to be something that's lacking a little bit with everybody relying on technology. A lot of what we see in the recruiting field is a lot of companies relying on AI to do their hiring for them. And let me tell you, it is not working. I understand you're all about saving the dollar, but it increases their turnover rate, and they're not looking people in the eye. They're not hiring the right kind of people, and it's really detrimental to their business. So we're really, like Greg said, we're really trying to utilize we're still emotional beings. Humans are still emotional beings. We can't avoid each other. It's just not the way we're built. So that is something that's really important in our practices for our business.
I can't imagine going to like an interview and talking to like a robot. It's not the same emotion as talking to a person. A robot can't understand what I'm
And a robot
about.
can't read your body language, and it can't see if you can maintain eye contact. It can't read the inflection in your voice to determine what kind of emotion you're actually feeling versus the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Right. And it's less organic. I mean, Greg, you hit on it. I mean, in business, it's about building relationships and having that interpersonal. And I guess to pivot for a second, Nicole, you are high school senior at Revere High. You're also interning with us at the Chamber. And as a high school senior within your generation, actually, we were talking about it before the show, but Greg was kind of hitting on, how things are changing, especially with your generation. There's you guys are seeing things differently. You're entering a generation where technology has changed, and like Greg hit on, it's there's many benefits to it, of course, but at the same time, we're lacking that kind of interpersonal there, right?
Yeah.
And so with that, my question for you, Nicole, especially as we speak with REQ Consulting, how is it for you? Do you see the difference socially? I mean, are you, when you go out and you're looking for a job and stuff like that, do you see the difference in the generation? And I know it's hard for you with introspect because
Right.
you're within this generation, but I'm interested in your feedback, and then also from you guys from REQ, especially in the recruiting process
yes.
with folks in
Don't worry, we have stories.
Nicole's generation. So I'm going to put you on the spotlight for a second. I mean, at your age group, I mean, do you see the difference now in how, you know, interviews are carried out and the jobs and stuff like that? What's your perspective?
Yeah, so I remember last summer I was definitely trying to like get a job, like retail wise. And I remember a couple, like I printed out my resume and I would go to a couple places and they would just tell me, oh no, just do it online, like upload it online. And I was like, but I have it here, you know, like can you just take it? Because I think it's a lot easier. I feel like getting to talk to the person is a lot more better. And then like I would go home and I would like fill it out because like I have to do it online. And I feel like the most difficult part is like having that communication, talking to them, being like, oh, did you get it? The resume, like is everything okay? Like getting to know me.
Yep.
So they don't like, because I think your resume can only tell you so much about a person. Like getting to meet me, I feel like you'll get to see like my qualities more. And so it was really difficult for me to actually like get a job, I would say. Like I got rejected a lot, which is why I was lucky to be able to do the internship, because I feel like that's helping me get more experience to put on my resume. So I get to showcase that with businesses and hopefully I'll get hired. And then like the other thing is I remember a lot of interviews are now like online. My older sister is doing a bunch of interviews. So, you know, not getting to be with the person in, like getting to be with the interviewee in person is definitely a difficult thing.
Exactly, and like you guys were saying. So I'm interested what you guys think about, especially on the recruiting side with this generation here. I'm sorry, I have to put you on the spot.
Well, I think you can clean up on aisle 5 after.
Sure, absolutely, I got you.
The difficult thing is the behavior of this 18 to 35 cohort. We hire a lot of interns. We deal with a lot of people that are of that generation that we're putting in the placement. It's the behavior of, well, I'm just going to email or text.
Yeah.
And because that's the behavior that as a generation or a cohort, people believe that's the medium you want to be communicated with, that means that the people that are looking for candidates do the same thing. What I believe and what I see the most amount of success, especially in what we're doing with Pass is when I walk into Erica's bakery, I ask for the owner, I ask for the general manager, and I want to talk to them and explain to them what we're doing. For people that are trying to find jobs, especially because you're young and you're going to probably not be taking a senior level position, that would be my recommendation in the same way. And when you go in to Erica's Bakery and say, I'm here, I would like to be she has an opening for assistant general manager and I believe I'm qualified. Well, she's not here. Do you have an email for her and a phone number? I'm here to talk to her about that position that's open. Be a bit more persistent. Persistence is something that is not rude. What's rude is when I'm rude to you, but persistence, there's a difference. And there's a gray line that's wider than this table. And you have to recognize that your persistence is going to show that you have professional integrity and you're actually interested and you're not just going through the motions. So that to me is what's lacking, and it's hard to get people to do that. Because that black hole in the 53 keywords that are used with AI, if you can put them all down, and I mean, I can apply to be a surgeon. I could probably get an interview.
You probably could.
But the point is I'm not qualified,
GPT,
right?
Yep.
So that in and of itself shows the faults in the process that you're having to participate in. That would be, I think, how I would answer that, because it's a challenge.
Yeah.
But it can be overcome by being persistent.
I appreciate that.
You bet.
Yeah, and we've even seen when we put out ads to hire for our interns, we have had people send us resumes that don't have the company name filled in.
Oh,
It
that's
says
nice.
enter company name here. We had a couple resumes where there's one person's name and contact information at the top and then totally different contact information at the bottom. That was a good one.
That's nice.
And so, you see a lack of attention to detail that this whole use of AI for hiring is creating. You can, like Greg said, he could BS his way. I don't know if I can say that on TV, but I'm going with it.
Yeah.
He can BS his way on a resume because ChatGPT could write you one.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely
ChatGPT, and it's funny though because we see when people are using ChatGPT because all the resumes slightly look the same. They look very similar, so it's quite obvious to us. What we see as far as the bringing the element of human behavior into the hiring process is something that is really important to me, and that we really talk about with our clients as well, because you're right, it's not just about the resume. You want them to see you because there are certain things about you that aren't going to be put on paper. It's, can you maintain eye contact? Are you able to hold a conversation in person? Right. There are a lot of folks in the younger generation that are really struggling with that.
Yeah.
I think that your generation is really stuck between a rock and a hard place a little bit right now because technology came in and it grew so fast. Right. And those of us who are parents, I mean, I'm not, but those who are parents really didn't, I don't think any of us really knew how to handle the technology coming in the way it did and how much our phones took over our lives. And how much screens took over our lives. And so you see the difference in the behavior with generations. And, I remember when the millennials came into the workforce, everybody was up in arms about it. It was a big thing, and we all figured it out and adjusted. But I think you're going to see trends like this anytime you have different generations and new generations coming into the workforce. But we definitely need, I think, as a whole, to get a grip on the impact technology has had on, hiring, and it's supposed to be there to help us, not to replace everything that we do.
Right.
Because we are still humans, we are not a computer, and I don't care how many robots are out there will always be a difference.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Also, I can say that my concern is, so I write business plans. And I can't tell you how many people come up to me and say, yeah, Erica, I got a business plan here, and I see it, and I know it's AI generated. I can see it. And similar to what you were saying, I'm able to identify that based on these templates.
Right.
It's all the same stuff.
Correct.
And it doesn't, so not to go on a side note, but like, for example, a business plan, you have financial specs on there, but you also have marketing strategy, and it integrates and incorporates many different things, right? But it's supposed to tell the story. And if someone's reading it, they should know exactly what your business is about, what your mission is, and how that all comes together. Now, when you're working with templates, just go back to AI, it's a template, right? So it's not really telling, it's telling a story that everybody has. And so there's nothing special or individual or attractive about your business. So going with AI sometimes is not only hindering interpersonal effectiveness and professional formality for the newer generations entering the workforce, but it's also creating generics. And that's what it takes away. We talk about traditional business formality of professionalism, interpersonal effectiveness. So REQ, you guys do an amazing job. Tell me how you guys are hedging against that with this new generation, with the workforce.
Well, that's good. Well, there's two ways to hedge. One, it's to look outside of that cohort of the 18 to 35 because there's more people due to all the varying reasons. We're not going to sit here and talk economics, but it's gotten a lot more expensive to do everything in the world. Right. Not just in America, but in every other part of the world. So that's keeping people in the workforce longer. But more importantly, what's happening is the amount of entrepreneurs, which I know, Erica, you can speak to that, the amount of new business formation or the amount of people that are starting businesses, especially in your cohort. 43% of the people between 18 and 35 at this point in time have not been W-2 employees. Yep. Highest ever of any cohort. Now it's a wide cohort, 17 years, but the point being is that whole cohort has a lot of similarities into where they are. So that entrepreneurial spirit means they're going to form businesses, they're going to need help, and they're going to need it from people that they can't get everything online.
People.
And they're going to need humans. One of the other things for you when you're interviewing for a job, not yet, but as you do, it's very expensive to lose someone. about $100,000 when you lose somebody that's a W-2 assistant manager, sales, something like that. That's about what it costs.
Yep.
Every time you lose one of those people, that turnover is extremely high. So if you're only meeting them via AI on their LinkedIn or something like that, and having take an exam, who's taking it? If they're on there, you're not getting a screening process, so I get to look at you in the eye and hear about the experiences that you've had that were either good or bad in your life. Those are the types of things that we do. So back to how are we dealing? We're working with all generations, Erica. It's important to recognize that there has and will always be some element of ageism as we all get older. I can remember when I was young and somebody had hair like mine, I called him a dinosaur and couldn't believe he still had a job. I love to work, and I'll work for a long time, but the point being is businesses realize that there's a higher degree of stick-to-itiveness and commitment to a business as you get older. Younger generations tend to turn over jobs faster, and it isn't something in the current cohort of the 18 to 35 where it's really frowned upon within their cohort. No, I had a job for I didn't like it, I just quit, and I went to something else. That wasn't how it was when we were younger. There was and I'm not saying that that's wrong or right. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that we're much more of a disposable society in so many ways. So some people take that same disposable mentality and they overlay it with what they do for business and say, I'm not really committed to Erica. I don't, her bakery's not that big a deal. I don't want to work there anymore. I'm going to go work for Alex. And they just jump and they don't think anything of it. But there's a lot of people in that cohort that don't have that mindset, right? And that's the way you find those people is you have to understand what their character really is, what their fiber is. So you might get it from that cohort, but you're sure going to get it from the older. And that's where we're finding a lot of that as well.
Interesting. Nice.
Yeah, and then, one of you touched on something that struck a chord with me. But yes, in regards to how many of the 18 to 35s are working, like you said, not W-2s, they are 1099s. That's kind of when we started integrating ourselves with Wow Health, which is a new, it's an industry disruptor, I think is your term that you like to use for it.
Yes, I do.
But it's really geared towards your independent contractors, and it's affordable healthcare, and it's too much for me to go on in this setting, but it can really be a huge benefit to folks in your generation, and not only folks in your generation, but small businesses. As a business owner, it cost the business owner anything, but it's something that they can offer to their employees that shows that you care about them. There seems to be a trend that we see a lot on the recruiting side is a lack of care from the employer down to the employee. And I think it's time that we put some responsibility back on them, honestly. There is a company that I confidentially can't say the name, but Greg hears me talk about them all the time, and I'm sure he's very tired of it. But we do a lot of recruiting for a very large company. They have over 1,000 stores nationwide. Wow. Their retention rates are through the roof. Their employees are the happiest employees I've ever worked with. They rarely have turnover. We've never even been in a position where we were able to hire a regional position for them because everybody's promoted internally. Wow. And it is so wonderful to be able to see that company care so much about their employees. Their employees' happiness is the #1 most important thing to them. But it trickles down from there. Your employees are happy, the customers are happy, and your bottom line revenue is through the roof because your turnover is low, the stores are run properly. I've never seen anything like it, and it's all because of the level of care that corporate is showing everybody, and it's infiltrated through the whole company.
And I assume that also regards good benefit structure offered.
Amazing benefit structure, amazing. Every employee is automatically enrolled in an employee stock option plan.
Nice, that's the only way I'd have it.
It's just they really, really take care of their people. I've seen people who their whole families worked for this company. Seen people start in high school and not leave until they retired. It's incredible, and it shows that model does work. Showing that you care about the people who are working for you, that should be important to business owners.
Exactly.
Your people are not disposable; they're your front line.
Right.
So yeah, we see a lot from all sides. We see things from the client side with the challenges, and then we also see the challenges from the candidate side that we have with companies not caring enough, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for my generation, but I do know something that like I personally will look for is like when I get a job is the benefits and like seeing how much the company cares for their employee, because that is such like a big important part of like where you're going to be working. Because if you can tell they care, you're going to love your job so much more. And like you said, it generates profit for them, hopefully, and then their customers are happy. And I'm just really happy to see that like companies are doing it, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's like a bit of mix. Like some jobs don't offer as much, but then you have some that are really amazing with their employees, like offer great benefits like you're talking. And yeah, I don't know, it just makes me happy to hear.
No, and we understand benefits are actually very expensive to provide, right?
Yeah.
Especially
Not
for some-
necessarily.
Well, it
Don't get
depends.
me started as an advisor. So the one thing I can say is, yes, they're very expensive, but many people aren't aware, depending on your entity and the structure of your business and or organization,
Right.
you can utilize that as a deduction. And then also in 2026, I won't get into it, guys, because I don't like to talk about my stuff, but the government is going to be changing the tax brackets January 2026, and what we're going to see is that under a certain amount, employers are going to have to offer 401 retirement benefits.
Okay,
Because what we're
great.
finding is with the regulations, you have to have a certain amount of employees to kind of fit that puzzle piece, and then they have to. Whereas in 2026, not only the bracket's going to change and go up, but they're also going to be mandating that smaller entities, employers, are offering 401. So you guys are absolutely right. People aren't doing that. And that it's a reflection because they see and they perceive how these businesses are moving in the revolving door.
Absolutely. There are some dynamics here that when we look at how REQ can help the community, how we can help the members of the Revere Chamber. Any of the businesses over 50 employees, the Affordable Care Act has provided a wellness program that we offer that gives every one of their employees a 2 to 5% raise, and it saves the businesses $681.
Yeah.
This is written right in to try and keep people out of the emergency room, because when the Affordable Care Act was passed, they heard free health care. Everybody went to the emergency room. That's just not how it worked.
Right.
Exactly.
So
Right.
Speaker Pelosi wrote this law in 2013, and then it was updated and enforced with more actions in 2018. So it gives businesses the ability to save money, provide a wellness program, and the employees themselves get a 2 to 5% raise when they qualify. So neither side has a burden.
Right.
In fact, what it is it's a benefit to the employees from a retention perspective. California is going through a lot of issues with respect to the hike in the minimum wage, and we see a lot of those businesses that are utilizing this program. Our Pass program, that gives every business the ability to market for free.
I've heard a lot about Pass.
And
We're so excited about it.
we had a bit, and businesses that become partners with Pass, they're able to actually sell the memberships themselves. We had a business in Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, sold 4,000 memberships. They get $2.50 for every membership they sell. So your businesses in Revere, they're going to want to compete to get that, because what ends up happening is I go to the pizza place on Broadway, and then I need to go get my hair cut at Hector's. Well, Hector's a member. I'm buying my membership from Hector already, right?
Yep.
The point being, that is how businesses not only can ingrain more into the community to help people, but actually make an added element of money that keeps things within the community, because the community grows when the community participates in programs that there is no outlay of cost. And then lastly, the WOW Health, 11,000 people a day turn 26.
No longer
And
parents' insurance, exactly.
So for $60, I can get you $10 copay for primary care physician. That's it. $25 to go to emergent care. That's it. Those types of our rates are because it's directly between us and the doctors, and we take out all of the bureaucracy. And the younger generation, 18 to 35, really likes things that are simple. So being able to utilize your phone and an app and get in there. So we're providing things for the young entrepreneurs. 43% are never W-2s. So those people need to have access to health care. Those people need to have different ways to find better recruiting, or maybe as their business grows, another way to provide a wellness program. And so that's what we find as our future and a future that really partners ourselves with the Revere Chamber, the Revere community, and Greater Boston as we continue to work our way around. But we're really excited to be here. And
we're so excited to have
very
you.
happy.
And what's more, Alex, it's an honor to have you on the board of directors for the Revere Chamber of Commerce.
I'm honored to be accepted onto the board and looking forward to it very much.
But so if our community, guys, business owners, professionals, if you are interested in learning more about WOW Health, Pass, how do they contact you guys?
Well, you could just find me. I'm Shirley App. No,
And you will find her on the Chamber website as well, and REQ Consulting, which is a member.
REQconsulting.net. Just go to the website and schedule a meeting. We'll be happy to talk to you at any point in time.
Absolutely.
Greg Ehlers, Alex Pomponio, thank you very much for coming out today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. Nicole, you did a great job.
Spectacular.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Erica.
Wow, wasn't that a great interview, you guys? I was really happy to be a part of it as I got to learn a lot about business, interviews, and benefits from them. But enough about that. Let's hear what events we have coming up at the Revere Chamber of Commerce.
Hey, you got it, Nicole. So we have some awesome events coming up, but what's most important is I'd like to shed light on our upcoming gala. So the annual gala that the Revere Chamber holds will be taking place on November 9th, 2024. We will be having that at the Marriott Spring Hill Suites, which is at 400 Ocean Ave in Revere. And I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention that as of right now, we do have sponsorships available for purchase. So if you're a business owner, professional, anyone that is interested in supporting the Revere Chamber for our biggest event of the year, celebrating businesses and commending them for their hard work, we appreciate it. The sponsorship tiers are broken down into 4 different tiers. And we do ask that sponsorship payments be made to the Chamber if you are interested by October 1st. What's more, as of right now, we have a special. We are offering early bird discount on our admission tickets for the gala. That's right. So, as of right now, the price for an admission ticket, if you go to our website, from now until August 31st, is going to be $100. So I stress that if you'd like to save $20 thereafter, $120 a ticket after August 31st. So again, guys, we have the biggest night of the year happening on November 9th. If you want to sponsor, go to the website, grab your tickets. It's going to be amazing. Furthermore, as far as events, we will be having every other month our continued networking nights at various restaurants. I'd also like to thank everyone for coming out. We had an amazing turnout this past week at Murray's. It was a wonderful networking night. And what's more, we will be alternating. So every other month, opposite the networking nights, we will be offering our new roundtable panel discussion series. Now again, the roundtable panel discussion is where we bring in entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals, and we alternate different industry topics for each of those panel discussions. These will occur every other month on Fridays at the Spring Hill Suites Marriott, 400 Ocean Ave. For further information on that, as well as any other events the Chamber is holding, I highly recommend you go to our website and check it out.
Thank you, Erica, for all those amazing updates. I know I'm very excited for all the events coming up from the Chamber, and I was also very happy to be here today anchoring, so thank you very much. Thank you, especially the viewers, for watching today's show of The Wave.